Obiageli. We'll begin with the headlines. United Nations advocates new multilateralism to address global challenges.
Okay, good.
National Identity Management Commission resumes enrollment and registration of citizens after days of industrial action.
No problem, Dele. I'm on your side.
Presidential Task Force on COVID-19 canvasses strict adherence to protocol in the interest of public health. And now the details. The United Nations has appealed for a new multilateralism to address global challenges. Secretary General of the organization, Antonio Guterres, made a plea during a virtual speech for the commemoration of the 75th anniversary of the first meeting of the UN General Assembly. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday reports that the virtual event organized by the British government also focused on the need to reduce inequality and injustice.
Since the beginning of the United Nations in 1945, on the ashes of World War II, observers say the world has enjoyed the longest period in recorded history without a military confrontation between major powers, which in itself is a great achievement the United Nations and its member states can be rightly proud of.
States have gathered for 75 years.
The UN scribe listed from human rights and environmental protection to arms control and war crime as some of the challenges facing the world.
Today, I see a growing momentum for change from grassroots activists, young people and civil society, and from businesses, cities, regions and governments in the United Nations General Assembly. In our interconnected world, we need a networked multilateralism so that global and regional organizations communicate and work together towards common goals.
Guterres said many daily work of the Assembly has played enormous parts in formulating and upholding laws on key global goods.
Carbon dioxide levels are at record highs. Apocalyptic fires and floods, cyclones and hurricanes are becoming the new normal. If we don't change course, we may be headed for a catastrophic temperature rise of more than 3 degrees this century.
The first meeting of the UN General Assembly was convened on January 10, 1946 in London. Adebola Brooklyn Sunday, NTA News.
And joining us through Zoom is the former Nigerian ambassador to the Islamic Republic of Pakistan 2012 to 2015 and was the authority in charge of the Nigerian embassy in Islamabad. Ambassador Dauda, thank you for joining us. Hello, Ambassador, are you there with us?
Thank you very much.
You're welcome.
Can you hear me? Thank you very much.
I can hear you. Now, Ambassador, 75 years since the first meeting of the UN General Assembly, how can you assess the achievements of the global body based on the reasons it was set up?
I think I would like to start by saying that if there was no United Nations, it would have been necessary to invent one. Over the past 75 years, the United Nations has made tremendous progress. It will be recalled that when the UN was formed, the Charter, one of the cardinal objectives of the United Nations was to ensure peace and security in the world. And member...
Go on, Ambassador. Hello, Ambassador, can you hear us? Oh, sorry, it appears we're having some network challenge. We'll go back to Ambassador.
States and community and peace in the world. And I think over the...
Moving on now, World Health Organization welcomes China's decision to allow entry to team investigating virus origins. This is just as black boxes located at the Indonesia airliner crash site as humans remains recovered. Details of these stories on the foreign scene with Justin Beamuni.
The World Health Organization has said it welcomes China's announcement on Monday, which stated that a WHO team investigated the origins of COVID-19 would arrive in the country on Thursday. China's announcement effectively greenlights the team's entry into the country. It comes after Beijing blocked the arrival of the global experts last week as the necessary permissions to enter China had not been approved. In the meantime, North Korea claims to have tested 13,257 people and found no positive cases of COVID-19, according to a report by the World Health Organization. The report is based on data from 15 laboratories in North Korea, which the country's Ministry of Public Health provided to WHO. The report also said that travel restrictions in North Korea have been imposed and all points of entry are closed for an undefined period of time. Meanwhile, world tally of COVID-19 has now neared 91 million mark. In other news, rescuers are searching for the wreckage of an Indonesian passenger jet that crashed into the ocean with 62 people on board. On Saturday, say they have located a box flight recorder and obtained communications data. The head of Indonesia's National Search and Rescue Agency said that the two black boxes from Sriwijaya Air Flight 182 are believed to have been detected within 150 and 200 meters of the crash site, and that search and rescue operations are continuing around the clock. The Search and Rescue Department has so far deployed 150 ships of various types and 12 helicopters, and 2,123 people have participated in the search for the crashed aircraft in the waters of the Thousand Islands. Now a look at the U.S. politics, where a House resolution calling on Vice President Mike Pence to invoke constitutional authority to remove President Donald Trump from office was blocked Monday by Republicans. Democrats in the House are pushing Pence and the cabinet to oust Trump, saying he is unfit for office after encouraging a protest march that turned into a mob that ransacked the U.S. Capitol in a deadly siege. Pence has given no indication he is ready to proceed on such a course, which would involve invoking the 25th Amendment to the Constitution, including a vote by a majority of the cabinet to oust Trump before he leaves office on January 20. Democratic President-elect Joe Biden will be sworn in on that day. The chamber adjourned within minutes after a Republican objection and will meet again on Tuesday for a vote. Thanks for watching. My name is Justin Bemunyi.
And on PTF briefing on coronavirus, Nigerians have been urged to adhere strictly to the non-pharmaceutical protocol for the prevention of COVID-19. The chairman of the Presidential Task Force on COVID-19, Boss Mustafa, made the plea a short while ago. He affirmed that no state in Nigeria is immune to COVID-19 pandemic, even if infections are not reported. The task force expressed concern over disregard for COVID-19 protocols at NIMSI registration centers nationwide.
The foregoing is to press further on the need for us all to elevate the level of our vigilance and compliance with the recommended non-pharmaceutical interventions. The current wave of infections is swift and virulent, and we do not know how long it will last. Besides, the facilities available for treatment of critical cases remain very limited, and we do not wish to be overwhelmed.
For once again seize this opportunity to urge healthcare practitioners to promptly send all suspected cases for testing, and when positive, refer them to isolation centers for treatment.
The virus that causes this disease, COVID-19, is spreading very fast, causing mild symptoms in some and severe symptoms and death in others. And many people continue to experience fatigue and some symptoms even after recovery. So this disease in many people doesn't end after 2 weeks.
The PTF say the third stream of NYSC members will resume on the 18th January 2021 with COVID-19 testing and protocols in place. Turning now to transportation outlook for the year 2021, train services in the country may be shut down if passengers continue to flout COVID-19 protocols. Minister of Transportation Rotimi Amechi, who gave the warning on Good Morning Nigeria, said governments would spare no decision to mitigate community transmission. Lydia Sampson reports.
There's over 60 of our staff, not Ministry of Transport staff, but the staff working on the rail have been affected by COVID. Luckily, nobody has died, and I pray nobody will die. But you see the kind of sacrifice everybody's making to get the rail to function.
Across the world, transportation is one of the sectors worst hit by the COVID-19 pandemic. In Nigeria, the railways, inland waterways and maritime subsectors are managing to stay afloat. Lagos-Ibadan Railway, which is already 95% completed, has been put on hold due to the second wave of the pandemic.
Close to Agege, around the Ikeja, that's been completed. A lot of the bridges, either overpass or underpass, a lot of them have been completed. Inside the seaport, we have turned it into about 4 tracks. So I say to you that once the President commissions, at least 2 of those tracks will be available instead of the 4, because COVID is not allowing us to complete all.
Issues of security on waterways and boat mishaps will be tackled through training and licensing of skippers.
We're able to license 5 organizations that are interested in barging. We've issued them the formal licenses, and we have some private sector participants that we're dealing with that are already into passenger movement, especially in the Lagos axis.
80% of goods that we have all over the world is being moved by ship. So as such, we cannot discuss the impact or the effects of this COVID-19 without discussing the CPRs. With this, we have a total framework, legal framework, to be able to address the issue of the legal aspect of this maritime insecurity. Despite the COVID-19 challenge, the Ministry of Transport expressed commitment towards promoting intermodal transportation in the country. In Abuja, Lydia Sampson, NTA News.
Around the maritime subsector, the contribution of the maritime subsector to 2020, a challenging year, was majorly in the area of constant shipment of food and drugs at a period COVID-19 threatened the existence of man. The positivity from this daunting challenge is that the industry is evolving strategies for digitization of port operations in 2021 and beyond. Michael Olaleye has a review and prospects of maritime sector in the year 2021.
The Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, NIMASA, projected a 10% growth rate for the industry between 2019 and 2020, with vessel fleet expected to grow by 8.75%. No soothsayer or forecast gave a second thought that an unseen enemy in form of coronavirus will stretch global economy to its begging knees. With hope of survival glaringly looking slim, the federal government exempted port operations from the lockdown in order to ensure constant supply of food, while waivers were activated on demurrage and storage fees for an initial 21 days.
Because we know how important it is for the economy to continue to move forward.
The implication, therefore, is that while cargoes were coming into the country, few were leaving, thereby leading to congestion and 80% yard occupancy.
Technology is the solution, okay? The port operations, like any other sector, must be moved by technology. We don't want people coming here. We want goods to be moved out, without anybody physically coming here.
Regardless of these challenges, the foundation for ease of doing business at the ports was built in 2020 with the projection that investors might save up to 30% operational costs.
We have several initiatives, and those initiatives need to be shared amongst ourselves for us to have improved operational opportunities within the maritime industries.
There is also a concerted effort at increasing indigenous shipping, flying the Nigerian flag through the cabotage financing scheme.
Even when international ships are under the Nigerian ship registry, they will give preference to Nigerian seafarers. So there's a direct relationship between the size of our tonnage and the opportunities for seafarers.
The maritime sector has demonstrated the resilience to survive regardless of challenges. And once the Deep Blue project is fully operational, the criminality threatening investments in the Gulf of Guinea will be a thing of the past. In Lagos, Michael Olale, NTA News.
Many thanks, Michael. You're watching the news on NTA International. More stories after the break. Please stay with us.
What limits you? Nothing. Who defines you? No one. Where can you go? Everywhere. With unlimited super-fast internet access, free Intel to Intel calls, and crystal clear quality conversations, you can do and be whatever you want to be. Intel. Live more.
The Council of Our Fathers.
Action of the protests by criminals have resulted into violence, destruction of government and private properties, criminal release of prisoners, and the lynching and burning of policemen and some innocent persons. These developments is causing serious concern to all of us, and if care is not taken, it might lead the country to a point of no return.
Nigerian youths, let's build our nation together.
Glad to have you back. A magistrate court sitting in Abuja has granted bail to the convener of Revolution Now protest on Moyole Shaware in the sum of 20 million naira with two sureties in like sum. The court has also ordered Shaware to remain in Abuja and physically report to the court registrar every Monday and Friday pending the determination of the case against him. The four other defendants in the case were also admitted to 1 million naira bail each and one surety, while the matter has been adjourned to February 5th for trial. The five defendants are standing trial for alleged conspiracy, unlawful assembly, and incitement of the public. And on NIMS enrollment and registration exercise resumes across all the National Identity Management Commission centers. ICT correspondent Joseph Johnson, who is at the EPI Center, has a situation report.
The strike, or sitting strike, if you may, that was embarked upon by the staff union of the National Identity Management Commission, NIMSI, under the aegis of the Association of Senior Civil Servants of Nigeria, just a few days ago, was called off on Friday. And the press release by the commission indicated that normal enrollment exercise resumes today across all NIMSI's centers in the country. Well, unlike the empty chairs and, of course, the dead silence that characterized this place during the no-work period, you can see that activities have picked up on a high. And, of course, expectedly, you would have been seeing another round of rush hour long queues and flaring tempers, but I must say that it is relatively different this time in terms of organization.
Today is quite different. They are working very well today than other days I have been coming.
But what I want government to do for us is they should extend this for us.
Many are asking if the issues that led to the strike action have been resolved. Well, I spoke with the chairman of the union, Mr. Lucky Azekokai. He did say that in the interim they will have to get back to work. That's today, of course, while still engaging with the management to iron out all the grey areas. And now let's bring him in to update us on the matter. Mr. Lucky, it's good to see you again.
Yeah, good morning.
All right, so apparently work has resumed. What's next for you and your colleagues?
Yes, negotiations start today. We'll be meeting with this on Saturday. We'll be meeting with the ministers tomorrow. We've not resolved because I keep hearing from other quarters that the issue has been resolved. Nothing has been resolved yet. At the moment, we are still dialoguing. At the end of the 21 days, if nothing concrete comes out, we'll go back to the gate again. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Of course, you've heard that the issues are still pending while the union, crosses their finger to see what the federal government will do with all the demands, concerns, still growing concerns on the non-compliance of COVID-19 safety protocols, especially with social distancing and, of course, compulsory wearing of face mask, which is still very palpable, here. Well, the union has succumbed to the greater good of getting the job done, given the very important nature, the national interest nature of the exercise. But, and that's a big but, the question remains, at what cost? Joseph Johnson, NTA News.
Thank you, Joseph, for our update on NIN registration. As the nation grapples with challenges of economic recession posed by COVID-19, corporate organizations are taking the lead in the pressing impacts of the global pandemic. Abdurrahman Usman Jabrila reports that the latest intervention is coming from the National Information Technology Development Agency to assist our youth in surviving the critical period.
The mission here is to develop various empowerment programs to engage youth to be self-reliant and contribute to the nation's growth and development profile. The approach is to deploy ICT knowledge in developing the skills of youth to leverage on the opportunities inherent in the communications and digital economy, which Nigeria is fast taking the lead.
The enrollment for the national identification number is now a reality. Therefore, the digitalized economy remains the best option, capable of placing the youth in an advantageous position to benefit from multiple global opportunities.
He said the global economic recession has compelled nations to think out of the box in building a strong and sustainable economy that is employable and dependable for surviving the trying times. In Abuja, Abraham Usman Jibrila, NTA News.
And on a sad note, President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with President Catholic Bishops' Conference of Nigeria and the entire Catholic community over the demise of Most Reverend Gregory Obinna Ochiagha, Bishop Emeritus, Catholic Diocese of Olu, Imo State. The president particularly sympathizes with Catholics in Olu Diocese, where the late cleric served as pioneer bishop and endeared himself to his parishioners. President Buhari notes that Bishop Ochiagha's contributions to the spiritual growth of the Catholic faithful during his decades of service will not be forgotten, and prays that Almighty God will console the grieving Catholic community and grant peaceful rest to the soul of the deceased. And similarly, President Muhammadu Buhari commiserates with the family of Colonel Aminu Isa Kontagoro, former military administrator of Benue and Kano states, who died recently, urging members to accept the will of God and find solace in the good works of the deceased. President Buhari believes that career military officer who served in many leadership positions, lived a life of sacrifice and dedication to the betterment of humanity. The president affirms that Colonel Kontagora's experience, wisdom, and cherished political support will be surely missed, praying Allah to forgive his sins and grant him al-Jannah. And on sports, Nigeria Football Federation adjusts activities for 2021. Details and sports update with Bade Adeleye.
Welcome to Sports Updates. I am Bade Adeleye. The Nigeria Football Federation is rearranging